Hey, it's Dr. Ernst, host of the AskDrErnst Show, and if you're taking a medication to control your blood sugars, listen up. If you're sticking your fingers in the morning hoping to see good numbers, but are struggling despite diet and exercise, and if you've been diagnosed a diabetic or even a pre-diabetic, I have a brand new ebook, Diabetes Heal Thyself. It's a complete functional guide to addressing and reversing diabetes, and guys, it's yours free right now. Simply text the word diabetes plus your name and email to 704-906-2094, and as a bonus, I'm hosting a Masterclass Saturday, July 19th, 10 a.m. in the morning. It's a free online event where I will teach you the top reasons that you struggle with sugars, and it's not your genetics, it's not your diet, or even your exercise. You're going to learn how toxicity, neurological interference, and leaky gut are the prevailing causes of type 2 diabetes. I'm going to show you how to actively reduce your sugars and make the word diabetes go away. To grab your free ebook and join us for the Masterclass, text the word diabetes plus your name and email to 704-906-2094.
Beyond wine, we really care about health, the health of the planet and the health of each other. That's what inspired us to start this business. Our family of team members meets every morning for a group meditation, followed by an open gratitude session. We believe a sound mind with a focus on peace is the best instrument for change. Joint meditation is the cornerstone of our company culture, and it helps us remember what's important, spreading joy and love, just like our family growers. Our family is a collection of passionate, health-conscious individuals who love to laugh and enjoy each other's company. We eat seasonally, grow our own vegetables, cook together, and share wine. Our team is incredibly dedicated to our mission. Everything from sourcing the wines to answering service questions, your natural wines were found and sourced around the world by our wine team. They taste every one, oversee their lab testing, and choose exactly which ones go in which box. If you order, your individual box will be packed by our incredibly hardworking fulfillment team. If you have any questions, your service requests will be handled by a wonderfully loving member experience family who only have one goal in mind, your 100% happiness. This video is put together by our talented media team, filmed and edited in-house, just like the rest of our artful media. From our unique creations to our printed lifestyle piece called A Matter of Taste. We put love into everything we do, and we hope to share it with you.
Would you like to experience a better night's sleep? Want to feel well rested and ready for your day? Discover an amazing solution with Celient Sleep Recovery. Our Celient Sleep Recovery products are made from a patented yarn embedded with a blend of 13 infrared active minerals. Celient technology never washes out. The benefits will last for their entire lifespan. Minerals reflect the body's own energy by using Celient infrared active technology, boosting your oxygen levels and improving circulation to reach REM sleep gracefully. Our customers love to comfortably sleep throughout the night because of Celient. We've conducted 9 independent clinical studies by well-respected scientific institutions and universities that prove the many positive effects Celient has on the body. Our technology is designed to help you achieve a refreshing sleep recovery. Get into bed to experience our smooth Celient Egyptian cotton blend sheets. Protect your mattress against the sands of time with our Celient mattress protectors. With our pillow protectors, you get the benefits of our recovery therapy. Explore new places and feel well rested throughout your journeys. Discover luxurious support that allows you to sleep in almost any position. Neck blankets are small and compact. You can bring them with you just about anywhere. Experience the foundation your body deserves. Start waking up refreshed and always ready for the day ahead. It's time to achieve the best sleep of your life to unlock your hidden potential. Start experiencing a better night's sleep with our Celient Sleep Recovery products today. Celient. Recycle your body's energy.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. My name is Dr. Ernst. Hey, yes, it's the show where pounds are shed and disease is dead and where you get to be set free from your health problems. But I also think today's show, specifically as we're celebrating Independence Day this weekend, it's time for you to become independent with your health. A bold declaration that you can break free from the mainstream methods of the tyranny, if you will, of pharmaceutical prescriptions and standardized healthcare, which says treat your symptoms, take a prescription, follow the procedures, and rather than educating yourself, I'm here today to share you a truth about your health that today, unfiltered, uncensored, and even unapologetically bold, we want you to be independent of the system that is built off of sickness. You have a power inside of you that's greater than any potion, pill, procedure. And I pray to God that today you get a chance to learn how to dive deep into solving a condition that affects so many people today, metabolic syndrome, and its sinister sidekick that goes along with it, type 2 diabetes. We're in a series with the Ask Dr. Ernst Show about solving the issues today of elevated blood sugars and elevated cholesterols and elevated triglycerides and too much weight and what we would term metabolic syndrome. Today, we're diving into this most pervasive, misdiagnosed, dangerous health condition that in all honesty is affecting up to 1 in 3 people listening to my voice right now today. And guys, these aren't just medical terms. These are metabolic warnings, signals, if you will, a flashing red icon on your dashboard of health. And the question is, are you going to cover it up with duct tape? Are you going to ignore it? Or are you going to pay attention and get a diagnostic look at your health from the inside out? Millions of Americans, unfortunately, are driving full speed ahead without ever taking a foot off the gas pedal, pushing their way through life. And metabolic syndrome isn't just a disease. It's a collection of 5 different ticking time bombs that I can pretty much guarantee you have 1, if not 2 or 3 of these right now. Do you have elevated blood pressure? It's just a simple yes or no. Do you have high fasting glucose? Have you been diagnosed a diabetic or a pre-diabetic? Would you love to lose some inches around your around your waist? You can tell we're live. We don't get a chance to oops and start over again. Can you say to me, Dr. Ernst, I would love to lose some weight? Do you have elevated triglycerides? Have you been diagnosed with a fatty liver? Or your cholesterol's imbalanced? Do you have really high LDLs and really low HDLs? I can guarantee you that one of those is probably something you're struggling with. And technically, to have metabolic syndrome, you only need 3 of those 5. And having 1 alone should be enough of a risk to make your eyebrow go up. And the scary part is, again, most people today are walking around with 1 or 2 or 3 of these risk factors and are never being told what they mean truly and what they can do. Most often, metabolic syndrome leads to full-blown diagnostic type 2 diabetes, thus the reason it's in our series for today. It leads to heart disease. We talked about that all last month. How cardiovascular disease is actually an impact of blood sugars and insulin, not cholesterols, fats in your diet. So here's the cold, hard reality as we start our show today. 96 million Americans are pre-diabetic. Another 37 million have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. That's roughly 1 in every 2 people listening to my voice going into either a direction of entering into disease. And the problem is often we become entrenched in the mainstream medical claims that you can't fix it. I mean, think about it. How many of you have heard once you have heart disease, there's nothing really you can do about it other than try to medicate and keep your blood pressure and your cholesterol down? Or once you're diabetic, there's really not much you can do other than diet and exercise and take the meds and hope to God that your sugars and your A1Cs reset. If anything, the commercials today are prevailing that we are having a problem with weight and sugars and metabolic health. And listen, pharmaceutical industries, they're happy to start giving you at-home injections that you can give yourself. It's metabolic malfunction, not a medication deficiency. So if you want some answers today, if you're a diabetic or a pre-diabetic and you're looking to lower your blood sugars and break out of A1C and crush the head of the serpent of diabetes, simple. I have a brand new ebook that's been updated. It's yours free, a complete guide to reversing type 1, 2, and 3 diabetes. Yours right now. Just simply text the word diabetes plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. Again, the ebook is yours free. And get this, in 2 weeks from today, July 19th, I'm hosting a live mega class. We right now have over 700 people registered. Why don't you join us as I'm going to show you how to lower fasting sugars in the morning, how to crush insulin issues and insulin resistance, how to not have to inject to make your weight and your sugars go away. If you're someone listening right now and you want to lose 20 pounds maybe in the next 4 or 5 weeks, you can do that. Let me show you how. If you've got type 2 diabetes and you're popping pills and pricking your fingers and injecting proteins in an attempt to make your body healthier, join us. It's free. 704-906-2094. On that masterclass, I'm going to show you the top 3 tests that you can run on yourself that'll show you the underlying root cause of why your body's not metabolizing sugars properly. These are not tests your conventional physicians will run. You need to do them on your own. They're very simple, easy to do, and easy to understand, and I will show you a 3-step functional approach that I have seen patients literally break through type 2 diabetes in as little as 90 days. You'll hear from individuals who have crushed fatty liver in 90 days, lost 30 to 40 pounds in 90 days. You can get your health back. You just need to become an active purveyor for that and become educated. So again, the text lines are blowing up. Just simply text the word diabetes plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. The ebook will whet your appetite. It'll get you started, and the masterclass will hit the home run so that you can become the purveyor of health for yourself. All right. The problem, in my opinion, with conventional medicine, the approach of our standard physicians, is that they treat your symptoms in like sections, if you will, or in subgroups. Look, if your blood sugar's high, diagnosed diabetic, here's metformin, here's glucophage, there's millions of different medications for that. Look, if your blood pressure's up, well, you're diagnosed with high blood pressure. Here's an ACE inhibitor, here's a beta blocker. If your cholesterol is up, right, here's a statin. So notice, it's symptomatic. None of these pharmaceutical solutions are looking at the reason why there's an overflowing abundance. They're just trying to mop up the mess rather than figuring out where is it coming from. So if you want to fix this for good, we have to go deep into the root causes. And the root causes are deceptively simple. So often people overlook them. Diet, insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, toxic overload, hormone imbalance, neurological imbalance. But together they form a metabolic matrix that often entraps most people. Once you identify your underlying root cause, a healing protocol is nothing short of a miraculous change because your body knows how to heal by itself. So buckle up, take some notes, and hang around with me today because I'm going to show you, or you can impact this to a loved one, a family member, a friend who's struggling with belly fat, brain fog, burnout, blood sugars, cholesterols, the 5 major root causes of metabolic syndrome. Number 1, insulin resistance. The first domino that falls for all of us is we don't pay attention to our fasting blood sugars and our insulin. So if we talk about the most chronic illness conditions, it's elevations in insulin. Insulin is a master hormone. Think of it like a metabolic traffic cop. Not only does it direct sugar into your cell, but it regulates fat storage, it controls hunger, and when you flood your body with sugars and starches and ultra-processed foods, your cells begin to tune out to insulin. It's like yelling at someone so many times that eventually they just stop listening. And the deafness to insulin is the beginning of metabolic unraveling. As your insulin becomes resistant, obviously sugar can't go into the cell. Therefore, fasting sugars start to rise. And in response, your pancreas tries even harder to push out more insulin. But if you think about it, if you scream louder, will that make the cells listen? Often no. High insulin, here we go now, leads to sodium retention, which causes your kidneys to raise your blood pressure. Notice again, root cause. It forces good cholesterol down and raises triglycerides and bad fats. It tells your liver to take the excess sugar and turn it into fat, which leads to fatty liver disease. And it can signal your fat cells to actually grow specifically in your abdomen. So in short, insulin resistance isn't just diabetes, it's hijacking the entire system of your body. And you're wanting improvements in all of these. And what's worse is insulin resistance is usually silent. You can't feel it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it. But you'll notice it, a little bit of belly fat starting to show up, some tiredness after you eat your meals, often cravings of sugars and brain fog. By the time your labs show that fasting glucose is high, more than likely you've had insulin resistance for years. That's why running tests and asking your doctors, look, they do not test fasting insulin. It's not a standard test. You have to ask them for it. Insulin resistance is not a glucose problem in the beginning. It's a cellular communication challenge. If you fix the communication, your body can start to heal by itself. But if you only chase the blood sugars and the A1Cs, you're never going to get a chance to fix it. So this is why you need to download. Look, if you're a diabetic or pre-diabetic and you're going, look, is there some way out of this? Download the Diabetes Heal Thyself ebook. Every description of what you need to do to start investigating your root causes in there. Text the word diabetes plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. It's yours free. Masterclass, Saturday, July 19th, 10 a.m. in the morning. Free. Guys, we're doing this all free for you because you need it. And it's simple and easy to do. Root cause number 2. What makes us have such elevations in blood sugars, pressures, cholesterols, triglycerides? Chronic inflammation. I want you to think of it as like it's the fire that feeds the fire in your body. It's a silent arsonist. It's behind almost every major degenerative disease. It plays a role in how you develop conditions and inflammation and even injuries. Inflammation in and of itself impairs insulin at the cellular level, which drives insulin resistance. We know inflammation can damage the endothelial lining of the blood vessels, raising blood pressure and even causing plaque buildup. It can throw your hormones, leptin, cortisol, and even thyroid hormones out of balance. Where does it all come from? It starts in your gut. Often there's a leak where bacterial particles known as lipopolysaccharides, they strake across the membranes. They bring from the intestines into the blood. In that area, it'll invoke a cellular inflammatory response. Oxidation starts to kick in, inflammation starts to become there, and your immune system becomes overactivated. It can also come from a liver that's overloaded with toxins. Many of us, pesticides, plastics, the pharmaceuticals you're taking, even heavy metals, can clog up and fill out your detox pathways within your liver. Remember this, toxins are stored in fat, which is why weight loss is really difficult if you're inflamed and toxic. Until you extinguish the fire and remove the toxins, your body will not burn fat. It won't get rid of the fat in your liver. It won't get rid of the fat on your body. So if we identify the sources of inflammation and eliminate them, we can start by healing your gut. Second half of the show today, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix each of these 5. Right now, you got to know what 5 are the problem. When we come back from the commercial break, how do you solve each of those 5? Yes, we can start working on healing your gut. Did you know also too, little fun fact, chiropractic care, getting your spine adjusted by a structural physician who's trained in the art of removing subluxations, is another great way to lower inflammation. Misalignments of the spine can cause neurological inflammation, which disrupts organ function and increases systemic inflammation. Root cause number 3, this is a big one for you guys, visceral fat. The fat you can't see because it's internal. One of the hallmarks of being a metabolic patient is excess abdominal fat, particularly on the inside. It's not the stuff you can pinch and see externally, but it's what's wrapping around your organs. Now watch this. Unlike fat that's in your skin, which is very harmless typically, visceral fat is directly linked to insulin resistance, diabetes, fatty liver disease, elevated triglycerides, and even cardiovascular events. The fat that's in your organs produces hormones, specifically estrogen and other cytokines that can create an inflammatory storm. In essence, the more visceral fat you have, the more metabolically compromised you are. And it becomes this challenge because it's a cycle. Insulin causes you to gain weight. The fat starts to show up around your organs, which makes your insulin resistance worse. Therefore, you gain more weight. Inflammatory chemicals that come from the fat can irritate your liver and your pancreas, the two organs that you need to regulate your sugars. And as you keep packing fat in your abdomen, it can crowd your organs, impact lymphatic flow. It can add stress to your cardiovascular system. And you may know this, but visceral fat is not something you can go and work off at the gym. Mainstream medicine will often cling to models that are outdated and say, if you just control your caloric intake and you make sure you burn a lot of calories, you're going to lose weight. But I'm here to tell you a hard truth. The fat in your organs doesn't get burned off by exercising. That's more subcutaneous fat. So you have to abandon the myth that what you eat and the fats you consume are going to be dangerous for you. The way you get rid of visceral fat is by increasing the healthy fats you consume, like avocados and coconut oil and omega oils, by sealing your gut and detoxing your body from chemicals and toxins. Cutting out, obviously, processed sugars and processed starches is going to help, but be careful because a lot of people will cut out fats thinking if I go low fat, I'm going to save my body and help it to heal. Visceral fat isn't permanent. You can melt it away, but you have to address the underlying root causes. Most often, it's a toxicity that you haven't addressed. You can get tested for it. You can find out if it's pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, heavy metals, and your body can heal by itself. Root cause number 4, elevated triglycerides, a fattiness to your liver. Your body's signal for burning fat comes through regulating your sugars. Triglycerides, if you think about it, are stored fat energy. When you consume excess carbohydrates, your liver will convert them into triglycerides for later use. If everything is balanced, meaning you have periods where you fast so you can activate your sugar stores and your fat stores, and you have some basic level of physical exertion, you will burn these fats. But if you're overfed, undermoved, and you're not regulating your gut and your toxins properly, triglycerides will start to build up in your blood and within your liver. And high triglyceride levels, isn't always because of something that you're overeating. They usually point to the fact there's a metabolic dysfunction in the first place. Often accompanying a fatty liver is a diagnosis of insulin resistance or cholesterol imbalances. Elevated triglycerides, by the way, is one of the earliest warning signs that you're entering into a metabolic dysfunction. Triglycerides should be less than 100, maybe 150 tops. So if you've got a triglyceride level north of 150, it won't get flagged medically yet, but it's already a sign that your body's saying, I need help metabolically. Hey, look, the main culprit behind elevated triglycerides is sugar, but particularly fructose. So when you drink carbonated beverages, sodas, or you eat sweets, or you consume physically food products that have high fructose corn syrup in it, your liver can become overwhelmed, and in an effect, it starts to pump out triglycerides at an extremely rapid rate. They're dumped into your bloodstream, and the challenge is fats that float around in your blood can cause pancreatitis, gallbladder stones, clogged arteries, and even leads to strokes. Conventional medicine will typically react by saying you need to up your statins. And never, ever with a prescription can you solve the underlying root cause. Triglyceride levels can change very drastically with medications. So if you see, for example, that you're making your labs look good, but your body's still reacting and telling you, I'm not budging on the needle of my weight, or I'm not seeing my blood pressure change, or my sugars aren't coming down, you're coming at it from an absolutely backwards perspective. When your triglycerides are high, it is a cry for help. Think of it like a warning sign that your energy systems are overloaded, you're metabolically stressed, your liver is active, and saying it needs help. But it's one of the easiest markers to reset naturally, because if you address your leaky gut and you go after your toxicities and you work on decreasing the inflammatory natures of your diet, you can see triglyceride levels drop very quickly. Okay, root cause number 5. So remember, these are the key components behind what we term metabolic syndrome. So number 1 is, of course, insulin levels start to go up. Number 2 is triglycerides start to go up. Number 3, cholesterol's become imbalanced. Number 4, your inflammation markers go off the charts. Number 5, specifically when we talk about cholesterols, your good cholesterol, HDL, starts to drop as your LDL levels elevate. High density lipoprotein, the good cholesterol, think of it like a cleanup crew for your blood vessels. It floats around and grabs excess cholesterols and carries it back to your liver for recycling. But with metabolic syndrome, HDL levels drop, so we're now more vulnerable to oxidative stress. And remember, it's more than just a number. HDL is an indicator that your body is under an attack metabolically if it's dropping below 50. When HDL levels go down, it typically means your liver is overworked, inflamed, and your fatty acid metabolism, the ability for you to burn fats, is sluggish. This is why a lot of people gain weight and say, I can't get it off no matter what I do. It's not just enough to lower your LDL cholesterols with statins, but you must raise your HDL levels. Why do they drop in the first place? Well, first, insulin. Again, remember, we said it's the first domino that falls. Insulin makes HDL levels go down. Chronic inflammation changes the size of the HDL particles, making them very small and ineffective. Poor diets can deprive your liver of the nutrients that it needs to make this essential product. And yes, can statins lower your LDLs? True, but it doesn't do anything to raise your HDLs? No. This is why the functional approach of doing this is anti-inflammatory fats, omega-3 fatty acids, monounsaturated fats, and even clean saturated fats from healthy animal proteins. Not only does this help to raise your HDL levels, but it improves the integrity of your cell membranes and can help your body to bounce back from insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. Another fun fact, did you know that chiropractic care has studies showing that regular adjustments to the vagal nerves and the mid-thoracic nerve supports lipid metabolism by improving autonomic nervous system balance? When you're in a parasympathetic activated state, your liver functions more effectively and systemic inflammation goes down. But when you're in a heightened sympathetic state, fight or flight, your body starts to react by secreting cortisol, and cortisol stimulates insulin, and now you see the trap again. So I'm telling you, if you want to break out of elevated blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, weight loss resistance, pay attention first to your fasting blood sugars. Pay attention to your insulin levels. Even if you haven't been diagnosed as a diabetic, I promise you, they're involved. I've got some people texting and asking, what should the numbers be? Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, your fasting sugars should be under 100 ideally. There is no at-home monitor for insulin, so you're going to have to request an insulin blood test. Simple. Many places today, you can even just walk into like a LabCorp, any lab test now, etc. Even you go online and order an insulin blood test. Fasting insulin in a perfect world is less than 5. If you see fasting insulins of 10, 11, 12, 13, that is an eyebrow going up and insulin resistance starting to show itself. As insulin goes up, now we see the effects. Blood pressure goes up, cholesterol, LDL goes up, HDL goes down, inflammation goes up, visceral fat goes up. Do you see it? It's all coming from the reaction of where your insulin levels are. And what spikes insulin is the inflammation of your body and the fact that, unfortunately, many of you are following a standard, I'll call it American diabetic encouraging diet. High grains, low fat, lots of processed sugars, when instead what we should do is focus more on eating healthy fats, eating clean proteins, and doing our best to cut out carbohydrates as much as we can so that from a dietary perspective, we're clean, but then we also have to address the root causes. Leaky gut, which makes the systemic inflammation show up in your body. Neurological imbalance, the fact that your brain and spinal cord regulate every organ in your body, and if you're subluxated, if your spine's out of alignment, it drives inflammation, which drives cortisol, and drives insulin. It's also the toxicities that we have: pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, heavy metals. Look, we live in a world today where if you take control of this, you can heal yourself. Hey, thanks for tuning in for the first half of the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Don't go away when we come back for the second half, fixing each of these the functional way. And take a moment right now, download the Diabetes Heal Thyself ebook. It's yours free, 704-906-2094. Masterclass, Saturday, July 19th, also yours free, 704-906-2094. Don't go away. The best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Wine is a fermented beverage that has been enjoyed by humanity for over 8,000 years. Our ancestors believed in its magical healing powers. Wine has been a well-studied part of our history, but recently it's changed. The wines sold today in most stores and restaurants are not the same wines enjoyed by our ancestors. Today, wine is a highly processed, factory-made product filled with toxins and industrial additives. The grapes are farmed with machines and heavy pesticide use, and the marketing is misleading and dishonest. Wines free from this human intervention still exist. They're called natural wines. These wines are a return to the old way of making and enjoying wine. Free from commercial additives, high sugar, and heavy alcohol content, these wines are a beautiful expression of nature. They're also extremely rare. Less than 1% of the world's wines are grown to this standard. They are made in hyper-small quantities by family farmers who work by hand using ancient practices. This is the kind of wine that derive from wine sources. We search the globe looking for pure natural wines, carefully nurtured by family growers who work with nature, and we take it a step further, sourcing wines that meet our strict criteria for farming, purity, and taste. We only work with organically grown wines, farmed without irrigation and without heavy machinery. Grapes are hand-picked and then fermented using native wild yeast, not the industry standard GMO yeasts. Our wines are pure, lab-tested by an independent enologist for metrics including alcohol and sugar. They also taste extraordinary, bright, fresh, and full of life. They jump out of the glass because they aren't sterilized or heavily processed.
Welcome back. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Hey, my name is Dr. Ernst. This is your trusted resource for reclaiming your health, restoring your function, even reversing conditions the natural way. Hey, in our first segment, we talked about the root causes behind our topic of the day, metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes, how it's not just elevated blood sugars. But have you ever noticed how when it comes to your health, almost everything is always elevated? Blood pressure is high, cholesterol is high, weight is too high. Almost always you're going to find elevations on your labs where there's too much of something. And that should tell you that your body is reacting to a deficiency in an area that you need to pay attention to. Look, your body is smart. If something's elevated, it's because it's missing what it needs to bring those numbers back down. And we're laying bare the root causes behind this: insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, visceral fat, elevations in triglycerides, low HDL, high LDL. Those are the symptoms of metabolic syndrome, and they're not random. Have you ever noticed how almost always people who have a diagnostic condition of diabetes also have these challenges? Their blood pressure's high, they've got too much weight on their body, there's too much cholesterol, they're often taking more than just one prescriptive medication. Or it goes the other way. You have high blood pressure and you also have elevated blood sugars and elevated cholesterol. So often we have all of these in combination, and they're not random. They're not disconnected symptoms. They're part of the same dysfunctional metabolic web that I'm hoping you start digesting. Download the Diabetes Heal Thyself ebook. Inside of here is the information you need to break apart why your sugars are high, why your insulin's off balance, why your weight's not coming off. It's yours free. You might be saying to yourself, but I don't have diabetes, Dr. Ernst. I have elevated blood pressure. I guarantee you there's a connection to your sugars with that. My cholesterols are off balance. I'm not a diabetic. I guarantee you your sugar is involved in your insulin's a play. It's just not bad enough to be diagnosed yet, but it's still there and involved. So text the word diabetes plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. I'll send the ebook to you so you can start educating yourself. It's free. I'll even invite you to a masterclass that I'm hosting live online Saturday, July 19th. The last masterclass I did on diabetes, over 1,000 people online, hundreds of individuals breaking free from the condition and the diagnosis of elevated blood sugars. You can do this. I've seen type 2 diabetes reverse in as little as 90 days. And when I say reverse, evidenced by repeat labs, A1C back to normal, insulin back to normal, blood sugars back to normal, people taking less or no medications. But it's because instead of treating the symptoms, we go down to the root, the main source. And the good news is this. If you become your own doctor and you find the underlying root cause and you address it, your body is designed to heal by itself. The tragedy that is conventional medicine, in my opinion, is it looks at each of those things I just told you as individual treatments. There's a pill for this and a pill for that and a pill for this, maybe even a shot now for weight loss. You guys know what I'm talking about. All these semaglutides and trizapeptides and all these weekly injections that, by the way, if you start doing research into them, have drastic side effects. Some people are even having physical damage to organ tissues in their bodies, kidney, digestive system, cancers. None of this is looking at the root cause. So functional medicine, as we've always discussed, works to repair the dysfunction underlying. So instead of managing the disease, your body can start to reverse it. So this segment is about solutions, not quick fixes or gimmicks, but real scientifically grounded, clinically proven protocols that can help your body to start bouncing back. We're going to walk through the 5 foundational pillars of metabolic healing. This is something that I'm doing for the first time ever. I'm giving you the 5 root causes corrections. We have to talk about your diet. Look, what you put at the end of your fork is more powerful for how you can correct your body than you give it credit for. We have to talk about your inflammation and your hormones and how you move. How much physicality do you put in your day-to-day pattern. And of course, your detoxification pathways and the conversation of how your brain and spinal cord are intimately connected to your health. Oh, Dr. Ernst, here you go with the chiropractic conversation. No, this is a life conversation. You were formed with a spinal cord that regulates every square inch of your body. Your brain is sending millions of signals a second to make everything work. If there is even the slightest disruption in that communication between your brain and your spine because of an alignment issue, a disc problem, a subluxation where the nerve is interfered with, 24 nerves, each left and right sides of your spine, go to different organ systems. And if you're struggling with high blood pressure, we've got to check the nerves to your heart. If you're struggling with diabetes, we have to check the nerves to your liver and your kidney. This is what most people miss. And how we, through the Ask Dr. Ernst network, get people better faster is because we start looking at your spine. We start looking at your gut. We start looking at your toxicities and your diet and your inflammation and your hormones and your movement. And we develop custom individualized treatment programs to help people. And guess what happens? Disease is dead. Just like we used for our tagline to start the show. These solutions are not abstract theories. Real biochemistry, clinical outcomes, and even the incredible design of your human body will give you what you need. Remember, your body is not broken. It's just burdened. And if you remove the interference, it's designed to heal by itself. So let's talk about solution number one that we just need to dive into, okay? Your diet. Okay, food is either the fastest way that you destroy or you repair your metabolism. Today's diet, typical standard American diet, right? Rich in sugar, processed carbs, and the worst of them all is the industrialized seed oils. So canola and corn and vegetable oils. It's the number one cause of insulin resistance and chronic inflammation is how you feed your body. If you want to heal, you have to stop feeding the fire that's going on inside of you. So the foundation of metabolic healing is a high-fat, clean, healthy fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate diet. And again, we're talking about grass-finished beef. Now, I've had a couple of people text in recently during some of my shows and say, well, what's the difference between grass-fed and grass-finished? So unfortunately, the food industry now knows that you want grass-fed. So they're allowing certain farms to feed their cows grass as they grow up, but then for the last 90 days, they're fed corn and other food products, grains, etc., that causes them to become fatty and metabolically dysfunctional. Notice it only takes 90 days for a healthy cow to become sick with its diet. So imagine, could you become healthy if you clean your diet out in as little as 90 days? Yes! So grass-fed is not enough anymore because it could still be finished with grains, whereas grass-finished implies that that animal, that cattle, has been only fed grass its entire life. Wild-caught fish, of course, because farm-raised, again, is fed pellets of corn and rice and soy and things to this effect, and often raised in tanks that are very polluted. So we want wild caught, like if you were to go out and fish the ocean by yourself with a line, right? Pasture raised poultry. Now the thing with chickens, guys, and duck and turkey is, again, they're heavily fed a grain substituted diet. So it would be great if you could find a soyless or grainless source for those. You just have to connect with the sources of where your proteins come from. We're also talking about plant-based fats, avocados, coconut oils, macadamia nuts, raw nuts, eliminating grains, getting rid of rice and corn and wheat and oats, starches and inflammatory oils. A lot of this would follow under what's known as the ketogenic or the carnivoric style. And I'm going to tell you outright, if you want a drastic change in your blood sugars, switch over to a more carnivoric diet, which is eating mostly clean proteins and cutting down all fruits and most vegetables down to less than 10% of your diet, and you will see a drastic shift in blood sugars as you switch from sugar burning mode into fat burning mode. Now listen, here's how it works. Once your body becomes fat adapted, meaning you're burning fat for energy, not sugar for energy, but fat, insulin levels will start to drop. Cravings disappear, energy comes back, fat begins to melt away, specifically in your abdomen. And if you add on top of that an intermittent fasting pattern, which again, we talk about on every single show we've ever done, it's vital that we start giving your body time to recover. So rather than just waking up in the morning and eating because it's morning, give yourself a couple hours to let your sugars come down naturally. You can drink water. You can have coffee with nothing added to it. Black, right? No sugars, no creamers. Again, remember, you're trying to give your body time to come down away from carbohydrates. Also, you want to avoid artificial sweeteners, so sucralose and aspartame and Splenda and saccharin and all the yellow and pink and blue packets. They spike insulin, and they also can damage the bacteria in your gut. If you want to use something to sweeten your beverages or your foods, stevia or monk fruit would be ideal. They can train your taste buds over time to start noticing the natural sugars found in food. And remember, every single bite you put in your mouth, no matter if it's calories or not, stimulates insulin. So if you feed your cells the right message, your metabolism will begin to function and start to work better. And don't wait for a lab test. Like, you can start doing this right now. So in our clinic, dietary intervention is like first-line therapy. It works and it's great. And if you need some help, just AskDrErnst.com. Recipes, there's thousands of ones that will help you. Okay, solution number 2. We've got to get the chronic inflammation of your gut under control. Insulin resistance is, again, the spark that would then ignite the flames within your body. Most often, the inflammation or the flames is coming from your intestinal system. Your digestive tract is more than just a tube that carries food through your body. It's a crucial immune organ. It's estimated that 70 to 80% of your immune system is found in your gut. One of the most damaging conditions today is what's known as leaky gut, or according to the research, increased intestinal permeability. This is where the junctions of the cells that hold your gut together start to leak apart. They widen. And this is usually because of you eating grains, specifically gluten, or having exposures to glyphosate from non-organic food products, or taking antibiotics or eating too much sugar or taking medications. So there's a host of things that cause a gut to leak. And notice again the challenge. The leaky gut is causing the inflammation, which causes the insulin resistance. Therefore, blood sugars go up, but your physician gives you a prescription that makes the gut leak more, which only makes the condition worse. When toxins and pathogens and undigested food particles get into your bloodstream, your immune system sees it as a threat. That right there creates chronic inflammation. Insulin resistance goes up and autoimmunity goes up. This is why often people have joint pain when they have type 2 diabetes, or they can't lose weight when they have type 2 diabetes, or they have high blood pressure and cholesterol issues because of it. If we want to rebuild the gut lining, number 1, remove the foods that are known to cause inflammation. Grains, carbohydrates, dairy, pesticides, glyphosate, etc., antibiotics, and you need to work with a physician to help you get off your medication so the gut can start to heal by itself. You can use bone broth and glutamine and fermented foods to help start sealing the intestine. Again, remove the inflammatory agents, gluten, dairy, soy, lectins, processed foods. If you're kind of going like, this is all foreign, like it sounds like Greek, Dr. Ernst, download the Diabetes Heal Thyself ebook. It has the whole process of what you need to do inside it, step by step. It's yours free right now just by texting your name, your email, and the word diabetes to 704-906-2094. And again, don't forget, I'm hosting a masterclass. If you're kind of like, look, I love the shows, the education is great, but I want someone to hold my hand and tell me specifically what I need to do, that's the masterclass. I'll spend an hour to an hour and a half with you and hundreds of other people showing you, do this first, do this second, do this third. And then you'll hear from people who have, again, broken their diabetes in 90 days, lost 30 to 40 pounds without even trying, reset blood pressure and cholesterol. It's like, it's possible. But, you know, the number one step that makes it difficult is, are you going to pick up the phone and take an action for your health? Is there a cost for it? Nope. Other than the movement of your thumbs on your phone and you carving out 10 a.m. on Saturday, July 19th. 2 weeks from today. It's easy. 704-906-2094. Okay, number 3, we got to start working on resetting your hormones. Really, truly going after insulin, cortisol, and leptin. Okay, your metabolism doesn't just run on calories like you've been taught. It actually runs more on hormones than anything else. Hormones are chemical messengers that will tell your body either burn fat or store it, either feel hungry or feel satisfied, or be energized or exhausted. And guess what most of us are? We are tired all the time, we're hungry all the time, and we are not burning fat. That should raise your eyebrow to your hormones are out of balance. Again, the 3 hormones we need to pay attention to: insulin, cortisol, leptin. We've already talked about insulin resistance, so I'm not going to go too deep into this because, again, insulin will tell your body to store fat. So you have to silence the insulin long enough to allow your body to begin healing. And the way you drive insulin levels down is you stop spiking it with too many carbohydrates and you start fasting. Cortisol. Now, there's where we need to pay a little attention to. It's your primary stress hormone response. So it reacts to your work and your finances and your relationships. And over time, even the workouts you do. Overtraining can cause you to hypersecrete cortisol, which then, unfortunately, raises blood sugar, raises blood pressure, makes insulin resistance worse. And here's the challenge. Cortisol is known to disrupt your thyroid hormone and change your sleep patterns, which is why so many of us are not sleeping well. To fix cortisol, you have to start building a resilience within your body. So you can begin by doing things that you might say, that's pointless. But daily breath work, learning how to physically bring your respiration rates into a controlled pattern. Box breathing, if you've heard me talk about this before. Inhale for a couple seconds, hold for a couple seconds, exhale for a couple seconds, hold for a couple seconds. Meditation, gratitude journaling, prayer, using adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha and holy basil and rhodiola. Regular chiropractic care, by the way, one of the greatest ways to reduce the stress physically on your body and hormonally on your body is getting your nervous system balanced and enhancing your vagal tone. If you get adjusted properly and your spine's in good alignment, you tend to see lower levels of cortisol secretions over time. Then there's leptin, and this is a hormone that not that many people talk about. Leptin tells your brain, stop eating. So leptin resistance leads to the feelings of hungry all the time, even when you've eaten. This is why for most people, willpower is not enough. You have to physically reset leptin. And how do you fix leptin? Well, first, you have to eat real food. And we have to stop snacking throughout the day. Leptin is most responsive at night. So if your sleep is off balance, then your hunger hormones will often stay broken. You want to stay away from high fructose corn syrups, seed oils, because both of those will physically destroy your leptin productivity and the resistance. And removing these over time can help to restore your brain's responsiveness to leptin. Remember, hormones are very powerful. When you remove toxic signals and you provide the right inputs like clean food, rest, movement, and detox, and even chiropractic care, hormones can start to balance, metabolism starts to balance, and things heal. Okay, solution number 4. Move your body. Now, most of us are exercising inappropriately. And I'd like to say, yes, movement can be medicine, but not because it burns calories. Okay, that's a whole myth. Movement is medicine because it rewires your metabolic engine. It can reset insulin, balance hormones, and even improve detoxification. It's one of the most underutilized tools when it comes to metabolic syndrome. First, you need to understand this, okay? What you've been trained as far as like, I think this is good exercise, chronic cardio, doing lunges for hours or spending time on an elliptical or a treadmill, research shows that actually raises cortisol and can make your insulin resistance worse. The best metabolic healing will happen with what's called short duration, high intensity restoration workouts. Some people call it HIIT, H-I-I-T. It's a powerful tool for restoring insulin sensitivity. And it's real simple. You do something hard and fast for a short duration of time, 20, 30, 40 seconds. But then you have to follow it by rest, again, for 20, 30, 40 seconds. So think of it as like, if I'm on the treadmill, I'm going to go as fast as I can for 60 seconds. And then I straddle that treadmill while it's spinning and I breathe my body back down. And then I do that again and I rest and I do it again and I rest. And you might only have to work out for 15 minutes doing this. Resistance training can also build lean muscle, which can act like a metabolic furnace, right? The more muscle you have, ready for this? The more glucose you can store and burn without it being in your blood. Resistance training also can help to improve testosterone and insulin and growth hormone, which are critical for fat loss. And daily movement is also important just by doing simple things, going for a walk, stretching, rebounding. But another form of movement I want to talk to you about is the fact that a lot of the time your joints, your spine, your back, your neck, your hips, your knees, they're not physically moving properly themselves. Misalignments of the spine prevent normal spinal movement, which then impairs nerve flow to vital organs, including your pancreas and your liver and your adrenal glands and your intestines. So chiropractic adjustments do more than just take back pain away. Hopefully, I'm engaging your thought of getting chiropractic care so that you stay in better balance spinally, so you get better neurological signaling, so that you restore communication, you reduce the stress response of the autonomic nervous system, and you improve your parasympathetics, which is your calming, resting, and healing system. Look, did you know that studies have shown that if you get regular chiropractic care, your HRV, heart rate variability, can improve, which is a key marker of how stressed out you are. So movement isn't just optional, in my opinion. It's a foundation of you healing yourself. And, be smart with it. Be strategic. If you need help, AskDrErnst.com. And there's a ton of information for you on our website. Okay, number 5, as we wrap up our show today. Detox your body to remove environmental toxins, which is often the key interference. Here's what I'm going to show you. You cannot heal if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, if your body is in a toxic environment. And yes, every single day we are bombarded. Heavy metals, pesticides, plastics, phthalates, parabens, flame retardants, and more. What we know is toxins like this are fat soluble. And because your cell membranes are made of fat and the receptors for your hormones, insulin in this case, are on the cell membrane, it causes an inflammatory process that blocks the receptor. Think of it like the more toxins you have, the more likely your insulin receptor is clogged with those toxins, so you can't activate the key that opens the door for sugars to go into your body. By reducing your exposures, you can help. So we want to drink clean water, get rid of fluorine and chlorine and pharmaceutical residues in your water. We want to open up your detox pathways. Your liver needs B vitamins and sulfur and glycine and antioxidants to be able to secrete toxins. Can you eat foods like garlic and onions and broccoli and dandelions and beets and cilantro to help with this? Of course. But you can go deeper. You can supplement with glutathione, activated charcoal, liposomal binders. Many of you just need help. Why do you think the masterclass is so important? We will break down specifically for you and your condition. There's surveys that help us to see what you need, what you can do. The question is, do you want to continue struggling, injecting, popping pills, and just hoping that it goes away? Or do you want to say, you know what, I'm going to take a deep dive and find my underlying root cause, fix it, and just watch as the power of your body heals by itself? Can you open up detox pathways? Of course you can, but you have to figure out what's clogging them in the first place. So as we close today, I want to remind you that, again, you're not broken. You're not a diabetic by destiny. You're not condemned to a lifetime of pills and injections. You're simply out of balance. And if you balance that back to restoration, your body can heal by itself. It's not just theoretical, it's practical, proven, and powerful, and I've seen it happen over and over again. If you're listening to my voice, text the word diabetes plus your name and email right now to 704-906-2094. The Heal Thyself Guide emailed to you, the masterclass Saturday, July 19th, yours free. I pray you join us. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next Saturday.